More on CNN. More on CNN. Not only are they covering for the white supremacists who surrounded white supremacist Charlie Kirk, white nationalist Charlie Kirk, bigot Charlie Kirk, they're also covering for Donald Trump in his mourning of the aforementioned tragically fatally assassinated Charlie Kirk. I played last week. I'll play two very brief clips. Together, they're not even 50 seconds, not even a minute. Breonna Keeler, before interviews, is giving this preamble about how there's no evidence that Donald Trump is guilty of any crimes related to Jeffrey Epstein. Oh, they want to just get that on the record. And then John Berman doing the same thing, pressing a Democratic congressman. What proof do you have? There's no evidence Donald Trump did anything wrong. There's no evidence Donald Trump did anything wrong. They cover for Donald Trump. They run interference for Donald Trump. They're steadily asking for making defenses of Donald Trump when their job is to ask questions. Their job is to not give a preamble of defense as though they're on the Donald Trump legal defense team. Their job is to ask questions and wait for the answers. And that's not what they're doing. Watch, I'll just put these, we'll cram them together. Breonna Keeler, and then a moment from John Berman.
We should note, it's important too, we've seen no sign of wrongdoing on Trump's part.
Again, I do want to say we have no reason to think that he was in any way involved with that check itself. Also, no reason to think he's conducted any wrongdoing involving Jeffrey Epstein. You noted, you're a prosecutor, you're a lawyer here, there's this defamation.
I would say we have lots of reasons to think he was involved in wrongdoing. I mean, at this point, there's a lot of smoke. There may be some fire, but I would just push back and say I think there's a lot of reason to think Donald Trump was involved.
Involved with what? I'm sorry, what exactly, what proof do you have that he was involved with wrongdoing in regards to Jeffrey Epstein? And if that's the case, why have there been no prosecutions over 20 years here? Because there haven't really been any allegations that he was involved with wrongdoing.
Yeah, just gross and weird, right? And now they're doing the same thing in the wake of Charlie Kirk's death. They're trying to convince America that Donald Trump gives a single shit about Charlie Kirk being assassinated. They did it last week. Obviously, Fox News is doing it. But watch this from Caitlin Collins, where she's like, the president himself has been deeply affected by this. And I'm told by people around him, he's just stunned. She tries to convince us of the absolutely unbelievable.
Yesterday, the president himself has been deeply affected by this, I'm told, by people around him, and just stunned the fact that this happened to one of the leading conservative activists, but also a top ally of his.
And you may be out there saying, well, that could be true. He could be stunned. He could be just beside himself with grief. I think you'd be giving Donald Trump too much benefit of the doubt, because we know Donald Trump. Donald Trump is a sociopath. The emotion of empathy isn't available to him. He doesn't understand how to grieve for someone. He was asked on the lawn of the White House by a reporter. I want to get the question right, because you might not be able to hear it very well. My condolences, the reporter says, my condolences on the loss of your friend Charlie Kirk. How are you holding up? And when I read the transcript, I thought, when I just read the transcript while watching the video play without sound, I thought, there's got to be more to it. There must have been a pause in between him saying, I think very good. I think very good, I'm holding up. It was the answer. And I thought maybe there was a pause and him staring off into the distance and giving it some solemn thought and reflecting on the life and legacy of Charlie Kirk. But he didn't even take a breath before he moved in to talking about the fucking ballroom, the nearly $250 million addition to the White House that Donald Trump sees as necessary so he can vomit his gold-clad nonsense ostentatiously all over the room. Watch just how much he's been deeply affected by the death of his good friend, Charlie Kirk.
I can go over the loss of his friend, how are you holding up over the last 3.5 years?
I think very good. And by the way, right there, you see all the trucks. They've just started construction of the new ballroom for the White House, which is something they've been trying to get, as you know, for about 150 years. And it's going to be a beauty. It'll be an absolutely magnificent structure. And I just see all the trucks. We just started, so it'll get done very nicely, and it'll be one of the best anywhere in the world, actually.
Thank you so much. Your message.
How are you holding up, Donald Trump? I think very good. And by the way, look at the trucks over here. Holy shit. We got this ballroom going, y'all. You're not going to believe the gold I'm going to be able to put in there. He's stunned by the death. Caitlin Collins at CNN. He's deeply affected by it. Was that a man who's deeply affected by the death? At the Yankees game, he's in there doing his jerk-off move to YMCA. At the same time that he's supposed to be in mourning for his friend. Donald Trump doesn't give a shit. He certainly doesn't need CNN's help. He doesn't need CNN's help because he's got all the help he needs from Fox News, who asked him about the same thing. When did you find out about the death of your dear friend, Charlie Kirk? And he tells them, and then immediately diverts just a left turn to talk again about the stupid fucking ballroom.
He was very hurt when he saw this, but I mean, everybody was. Oh, when I heard it, I was in the midst of, building a great, for 150 years, they've wanted a ballroom at the White House, right? They don't have a ballroom. They have to use tents on the lawn for President Xi when he comes over. If it rains, it's a wipeout. And so I was with the architects and with design. It's going to be incredible.
Can we please just save it? Fox News and CNN. Look, I know that there's a large swath of the American people, certainly Fox News viewers, who don't pay attention to the truth, to the news, to reality itself. But we are entitled to the truth. We are entitled to a reality-based reporting of the news. We don't need to do this kid glove bullshit, this rewriting of history, trying to make Charlie Kirk into something other than what he was. Anything other than what he was. Because I guess it's not socially acceptable to call a racist Christian nationalist bigot what he was. Where's my list of Charlie Kirk quotes? We'll just end with one Charlie Kirk quote, okay? Here's one on guns. I was going to give you a quote on Jews or Muslims or Palestine or transgender people when he called them an abomination to God, or called George Floyd a scumbag. Speaking of not besmirching the dead, right? Here's one on guns. Quote, Charlie Kirk, quote, "It's worth to have a cost of, unfortunately, some gun deaths every single year so that we can have the Second Amendment." Actually, let me read the one about Jews. When I say that he's an anti-Semite, you don't just think I'm just saying it just as to provide an invective about Charlie Kirk. Quote, Jewish donors have been the number one funding mechanism of radical open border, neoliberal, quasi-Marxist policies, cultural institutions, and nonprofits. This is a beast created by secular Jews, and now it's coming for Jews, and they're like, what on earth happened? And it's not just the colleges, it's the nonprofits, it's the movies, it's Hollywood, it's all of it. The Jews control Hollywood and the news and the nonprofits and our culture and our society. Shadowy Jews. So keep bending over backwards, CNN, to make Charlie Kirk something he's not. Keep bending over backwards to make Donald Trump something he's not in the wake of a very precarious time in American history. Good job. Fantastic. I'm glad you're abdicating your role as a member of the free and fair press in order that you extricate yourself from harassment by Donald Trump and his minions in the cult. Gross, irresponsible, un-American, disgusting. What do you think out there? I invite you to this conversation. We can have it below the comments wherever you're watching the video. We can also have you call the voicemail line and leave me a brief voicemail, 714-576-4054. And of course, as always, you can email me daily@dollemore.com. I love and appreciate you very much. I would very much appreciate if you would consider helping support this program monetarily. Not if you're on a fixed income, not if you're on retirement, not if you're on disability, not if things are tight for you. I know things are tight for many, many people. You save your money and support yourself. Make sure you're subscribed. That's free. But if you do have an extra $2 laying around, I would appreciate the support, helping support independent media, helping me produce these videos. You can click the join button below this video on YouTube to become a channel member. There's some kind of a subscribe button over on the Dollemore Daily Facebook page that I would appreciate you following too. And also you can go to patreon.com/IDoubtIt podcast. I love and appreciate you very much. I'll see you next time tomorrow. Be genuine. Take care of one another.